Everybody, good morning. How's it going? Um, do a little dance. Sometimes I get it right. How about that Google reaction? Anybody? Hey, Repstock, thank you for becoming a channel supporter today. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. And welcome to the show, okay? Don, Rex, Stan, Latoro, Sergio. Good to see you as always. Rob, Jason, Frank, Joseph, David, Diane, Will, Mad, Gary, Cliff, David, Svenborn, Rungemer, Stephen, Ivan, Darren, Ted, Jim, Amy. Hey, everybody that's TTL, Term Right Trading Lab, make sure you fill out the form. It's in Discord. It's in one click. It's emailed out. Fill it out at least once. I mean, you can fill it out more than once if you want to, but we just need your information one time. Whether you're coming in person next month or not, we need to collect the information. So, yeah, that's everybody that has access to Term Right Trading Lab. Please let me know whether you're coming or not on that form. Don't let me know here. Fill out the form. It's got some specific questions we need answered. All right, and Google, man, whew, check that out. I said what I said yesterday. If we get right there, we're probably going down at least to the breakouts. Look at that. Look at that. Dun, 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 dun. Tell you what. Back to the breakouts. Do we hold it or do we come down here? That is the question, right? That is the question. Dun, 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 dun. It's just math, you know. Did I know what Google was going to say? Nope. Had no clue. But the patterns are the patterns. So, alrighty. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. Just because I get it right in the past, get Google right. I've got others right. The patterns work. Just because it works in the past, it may stop working. It may never work again. That's kind of the way this works. So you got to stay on your toes. If it quits working, we got to adapt and change. Unlike Jim Cramer that just always gets it wrong, or Nancy Pelosi that always seems to get it right, but she's got information we don't got. Anyway, this presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining. Hopefully you're entertained. Not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument, including stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasury, bonds. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. Any of that stuff. Stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, anything. Don't trade them. Now, if you need somebody to tell you what to do, personal financial advice, you're going to have to hire and consult somebody because that's not what I'm doing. I'm not telling you what to buy. Unlike other YouTubers out there, they're like, hey, you should go buy this. Or even Jim Cramer is like, buy. You got to make a decision for you. Like, I can't tell you what's best for you. You may not like volatile stuff. You may not like crypto. Crypto is volatile. And it's been ripping. It's been dipping. It's been an emotional roller coaster. And you got to be careful out there. I have, coming up at the end of the show today, I have maybe the most craziest bonus trade setup. The numbers are absolutely insane. It may be the highest ones in the whole system. Absolute crazy. We'll get there. It's stick around. It's pretty wild. And today, look at that. We actually came in a little strong right there. Look at that. Everything's good, right? We got this little bit of volatility events coming up right after the market opens. Be careful. Permacautious as always. Then tomorrow, we get the regular unemployment claims. The big show for the week, right here. Average hourly earnings, unemployment rates, our normal monthly jobs report that we get the first Friday of the month. And then we get some consumer sentiment and inflation numbers right there at 10 a.m. A little bit of volatility, and then things will settle down on Friday. So that's what we got cooking for the rest of the week there. Also have big earnings coming up tomorrow. Dun, 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 dun. We had big earnings yesterday with Alphabet and AMD. We got big earnings coming up tomorrow with Amazon, Elf, Cloudflare, Eli Lilly. Today after the close, Ford, Qualcomm, ARM, Symbiotic, whatever the heck AMSC is, Viking, O'Reilly, Auto Parts, Aflac. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't think Ford just looks dead, even though it's like one of the most anticipated earnings. The chart just looks dead. I don't expect it to do jack squat. I mean, they're bleeding cash, their electric vehicle thing and working out. If the government does away with subsidies, almost nobody can make money except one. One company out there has it in lockdown on how to make money on electric vehicles without the subsidies. But hey, I don't, we'll see what happens. So I think most companies are losing money even with the subsidies. I guess we'll see what happens. So Amazon, we can take a look at that. Yeah, I mean, we've got today, we've got tomorrow before it happens. So I think it's getting a little frothy. This one right here, we got it right. Now it can hold support here. It does not have to drop below this level. We can stay right here and pop up even higher. 225, 225. That level is the next upside target if we hold the breakout. If we hold that, going up there. Any questions? You can let me know. Alrighty. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Anybody surprised? Is anybody actually, like, absolutely shocked right there that worked? Dun, dun, dun. Jason, it is really tough. Like, what type of trading suits you? That's why you should be really careful. Start really small. You can trade shares. You can trade a share. And, do you like options trading? If you don't do it. You don't have to. I've got a new system that's just trading shares that does as good, maybe better than trading options. And we're testing that out with the Term Art Trading Lab people. Maybe roll that out to the public, March or April possibly. So be careful. If you want access to it now, Term Art Trading Lab, that's the way to get it. And there we go. There you go, Wrongimer. Now, do you like day trading? I offer day trading things. Do you like swing trading? I offer swing trading things. Do you like position trading? Well, I have something like that. It's double dip trades. It's kind of trading longer time frames and just collecting dividends. It's all in stock. That's not the thing I was talking about either. That's a slow performer, but people that are getting closer to retirement, like Goose, like he's heavy into double dip trades now. You may not have even heard of it. We don't really even sell it. So I think the last time I sold it was like 2 years ago. Still doing it. So there's Google. And moving on. We'll check back in on that after the open here in about 5 minutes. S&P yesterday. So I usually look at the futures. If you're new here, this is the S&P 500 futures. There's a lot of stuff drawn on this chart. We have the setup where, just the simplest thing right here. We had that high. That was all the way back in December. We had this low right there, early January. We came up, made a new high, barely. We did this retrace right here. That was recent, right? Tariffs, all that junk. And we're hanging out right here. Haven't broken out higher. Haven't broken down lower. That's the range right there. Those are the important levels. And this right here. And this right here. Those are the important levels right there. We break out. There's the target. Now, we already set the stage that this is the target right here. The bias is long for that target. Somewhere around 62.25 up to about 62.50 as a primary conservative target. And more aggressively, we possibly could get up here. It's possible. Right around the 63.50 area. I don't know if it's extremely likely without doing a bigger retrace. Now, after we top right here, we could be looking down the face of a bigger correction before we do the big down, right? We might do an intermediate big correction back down in the low 5,000s and then come back up here before we do the big down I've been talking about for a while. If you're new here, we're closer to the top. I think we're going below 4,000 before we go above 7,000. It's been my call for a couple months now. But I think we can see this volatility. We definitely have the president for it. Conditions, I think conditions are going to be unstable. They already got 20,000 people leaving the government workforce, and they're talking about doing layoffs if people don't take the buyouts. They have a contract buyout offer. You get the rest of the year. We'll give you all the money, and you just take a hike. 20,000 people have taken that deal, but it's not enough. They want more. So we'll see what happens. That can have unintended consequences. I've been looking through numbers and things that people tweet and say and do and, things like that. I don't have anything I could share, definitive and hard. It's just kind of we kind of know, just by the numbers of the government employees that roughly 13% of the population works directly for the U.S. government. Now, if you add in all the not-for-profits and things that run solely off of grants, we're getting closer to 20 to, it's hard to estimate exactly, but it's right in the neighborhood of 20 to 25% of the entire U.S. population runs right off of government, right? Now, add in all the companies that only have one client. There's a ton of them. There's a ton of companies out there that have one client, and that is Uncle Sam. They're single source, contracts and suppliers and set-asides. And, if you've been in the military or the government at all, you understand what I'm talking about. All these contractors that, meet the requirements to, all the things that they do. And add those numbers in, we're getting close to 30% of the entire population of the United States runs off of government contracts and government money. Between the employees, the grants, and these contracts, single source contracts, we're talking about 30% of the population. Now, you also have about roughly 30% of the population on Social Security or some sort of government assistance. So we're talking about 60% of the population, maybe 2/3 of us out there are running off of government money. And that leaves like a third, maybe a quarter of us that are actually even paying for everybody else. So that's just wild, right? Just wild. So you gotta just, what happens when we cut all that money that everybody's running, expecting? What happens when we just the 30% of the population that works for the government? What happens when we gut that money? Where do all those people go to work? I mean, like, the numbers are still just absolutely wild. So maybe we come up here and we do a dip and then we do a pop and then we do a dip. I don't know. So that's what to watch out for right there. These levels right here, right now, that's the important levels where we made a giant tail right there at the top and we made a giant tail right there at the bottom. The narrative, I don't know. What I think it brings, more than anything, it's not about jobs or this or that. It's uncertainty, all right? When the market is uncertain, we drop. When we have certainty and clarity, we were pretty clear that the president didn't matter for a number of years here. We zoom out and look at it. The market was pretty sure Biden wanted to do squat. And we went higher. When you get uncertainty, not sure what's going to happen, we get some chaos. Now, who knows? All right. So just keep it in mind. Just keep her in mind. Digging on down, looking at the overnight action. I look at the futures because it trades all night. Got all the data. Right? I mean, stops trading at 5 p.m., reopens at 6 p.m., and goes all the way overnight. So we've got a 15-minute bounce potential right here. We break up through that level on NASDAQ right there. Probably cruising right up here. Same pattern all the time. ES, looking at that, same pattern. 15-minute bounce. Getting close to breaking above. Right there would be the target. Now we've double topped right there, so triple topped even. Be careful, it may be a resistance zone. We may get a pullback before we can come up through. That's the likely target, 75% likely, but it still could fail. There's still a 25% chance we fail. So it's NASDAQ and Russell. NASDAQ and ES. Here's the Russell. It's already pushing higher, already getting close to the target. So this may experience either outperformance or it may be leading and we actually top out and get a retrace faster over here. Now this one did not hit the 15-minute overnight, so it's beaten its drum to a different path. Be careful. This one has a major resistance right up here, around 2365-ish. And we'll see. Big major resistance. This could rally up in here while everything else gets a higher high. And then we experience some downside. Oil pushing back down lower. Dun, 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 dun. Exactly like I warned about. Back testing the roadmap line. Pushing back down. We break below that. Probably sets the stage to go down to around $60 on oil. Here's the resistance right there. And support right now is here. And if we break that, we might find a little bit at the uptrend of lows. But if we slice right through it, we're going down at least to 60 on oil. More than likely. I mean, it can still fail, but that's the magic level right there. Gold, be careful. This might have topped out. Ooh, making me nervous. The high was 2901. Dropped the mic. I said 2900. That was my target. We got it. In the near term here, we may experience a bigger pullback. Now, silver is lagging, and I feel like silver has a giant opportunity to catch up. Maybe well, there's no way that gold pulls back while silver rips. We'll see. We'll see. We have not actually broken out above the resistance here on silver. And that may be the tell that we're about to do a bigger correction on silver and gold together. So, I'm going to have to seriously debate whether I want to lighten the load or not on that stuff. Bitcoin coming in here. Really selling off into the close yesterday. Holy moly. And then bringing it back a little bit today. And the actual spot market chart looks a little different. Look at that. Holding that level. Where's the important level? Right there. Where's the other important level? Right there. 105. on the upside. And this one right down here, I think it's 98, roughly 97.5 and 97.5. Keep seeing 98 get hit, and it dips so fast, like yeah, right around that 97.5, 98, right there. So, and this is right up at 105. So kind of like the ES, like if we break out, going on up. If we break down, well, there you go. Simple as that for Bitcoin. Ethereum keeps retesting that support. 3 days in a row now. Giddy up and go. Resistance, and this is all coming together here. Downtrend highs, roadmap line, all coming together. That'll be a major resistance. If we break through, could see a larger upside, and if we bounce off, this could flush down potentially into the triple digits. Not good. So big caution flag on Ethereum right now for the near term. NKD still hanging in the middle, still more sideways. That's what I expect. Just maintain the box till something upsets. Dollar, like I said, that is a pattern to crush it pretty quickly. Right down here, potentially continuation here, retest, and get another leg down, right like that. That's what the dollar looks like, despite what everybody's saying that the dollar is gonna, you know, rip higher, be strong, destroy the world, whatever. Be careful. Be careful. I'm permacautious. You know, that's kind of the name of the game, because, you know, if you don't watch out for your money, certainly nobody else is. So I go pull all the gainers, things going up $2 or more in the pre-market, put it on the gainers list, $2 or more down, put it on the decliners list, which is down here. And we go through them looking for opportunities. I don't update the list. I don't pre-look at the list. I have no idea what's on here. I mean, except for I know a couple things are on here, like Google. But we'll see. All right, we'll see when we dive through. Is there any opportunity? I don't know. Workday. Let's just clean this chart up. Current opportunity right here. If we can close the day above this 273 area. Looking for 300 on the target. Right there. Remember, at the end of the show, I have the bonus trade. It's this setup right here. This exact same setup. So smoking. I don't even believe the numbers. It's absolute insanity. This one right here, pushing up through. Can we get the continuation up above that 618 level? We had that giant gap down right there. We're just coming up into it. We've rejected it once, twice, 3, 4. This will be the 4th time. We're testing into it right here. Can we fill the gap? Get to the target at the top of the gap? If we do, we're above the 618 of the big retrace that started back here last summer. And that'd be a 1, 2. Can we pop it up and go for the target up around 1,000? That'll be the tail. The top of we got to fill the gap. Get up, you know, be able to maintain that gap without retracing. Even if we do retrace, we want to see it hold the roadmap line and turn back higher, break back above. Then we're going up to 1,000. So if we do that, that may be the point where I buy some right there. AVGO, it's patience and discipline. Patience to wait for the setup that you think is high probability and, you know, likely to work, and then the discipline to take action when it all sets up. AVGO, yeah, as I mentioned, that was the ideal kind of target for the retrace. This could go cruising on up to 260, 269. We have earnings coming up all the way out here late in February. So far, this is lower highs, and the roadmap line may be where we're heading. But like I said, that's an ideal bounce. We're up to the 618, kind of hanging here. If we turn down, we'll make another move down. If we break above the gap down, limited upside right there. Mercury Systems, an absolute ridiculous pop. Filled that gap. So here's how gaps So gap downs matter. Gap ups don't matter. That thing popped right up through that gap. Now, it may retrace it back down, but it popped right up through it. And it already filled this one over here and then crushed it down. This is why I warn about these. Gap downs matter. Gap ups don't matter. So, yeah, that one right there, drop down, pop back up. People are like, I am getting the fudge out. And we cruised on down. And we left this gap on the way down. And we came up. People are like, nope. Nope. So you got to be careful. Now we're up here. We filled the gap, but are people that have been stuck in it, are they being like, I am getting the fudge back out? Cause that another sell in there. And we can pop on up again. I don't know. Difficult right there. Dun, 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 dun. Correlation with correlation, but don't confuse correlation and causation. Dollar dropping does not necessarily make gold pop. Serious Logic held that support really well. Coming up right there, respecting that resistance. May come back down, test the bottom again. We'll see. Like there's no clear path here at the moment. We've got this high, we've got this low right there. The resistance is right up here at that 125 area. We get above that 156, but if we don't, if we just rally, I mean, that can continue lower. We could part around, come up here and continue lower. So that's a key level and that's a key level. Going higher. JCI. Well, that hit the target. Boom, right there, 89. That didn't even give you a chance to get in, like no conservative entry. It just went from support to the target. Now you gotta wait for something else. No opportunity for me in anything I do. Buy serve. That was a lower time frame bounce right there. You can see right there. 4-hour bounce, boom, right up to the target. I usually just wait for the big time frame stuff. GE Veranova looks like we're going to drop back to the roadmap line. It doesn't have to, but that's what it looks like. Now, we did this consolidation over here and a spike down at the end, and then we went ripping. And this right here is an example of what we could rip from if we do it. And that could take us up to like 740. Absolute wild move if we do that. And it just did a consolidation, then a pop. This is another consolidation, another pop. That's it. You know, with so few candles on here, the roadmap line is only like 2 months long. There's not enough data on this chart to, I mean, I'm a trend pullback continuation type trader, and that's just trend. There's no pullback, so be careful. EVR, let's just clean this one up. That high, that low. We're sitting at that 618 resistance. We can close above. Target's right up there, 336. So we need to get above 300. Then you can get about 10% upside on shares. CLS, wow, look at that. That was a lower time frame, 4-hour bounce, and getting into the vicinity of the target, 138, possibly 146 above that. Toyota Motors, and just churning. Stuck on the roadmap line. And we've done a 3-wave up that was proportional. This right here, as long as we hold that 201 level, that's bearish. That's the trend. The trend is down here. 3-wave correction into, you know, that holds right there, holds 201. Continuation would be down. Be careful. We do have this uptrend of lows. If we break down below it, that's your warning sign that we're going to get bigger continuation lower. Electronic Arts, nice little pop, even though they missed. This is so crazy. I pretty much knew they were going to miss. They missed on the top and missed on the bottom. But hey, they're up 6% today. That makes sense, right? They were already beat down. They're coming back up. Resistance right there. And they're just chopping in this big box that they've been in for a few years now. Few years, you know, all the way back since 2018, 2017. Almost nowhere. Another 2 years will be nowhere in a decade. That's a good investment, right? The answer is no. NVO got earnings. I guess just reported earnings. There we go. Beat on the top, beat on the bottom. GLP-1 drugs. But we're sitting down here. Can we get back up into the roadmap line, or are we going to crush it down to a more ideal retrace down here? I don't really have the answer. Waiting for the market to tell me which way we're going. ERJ, Embraer, just hitting ridiculous levels here. Yeah, that. So looking at the bigger picture here, is on a path. We are at a resistance point. If this is going to continue down, watch for it to top right here. If we're going to continue up and go much higher, this 97 level is where we're heading. And then we'll do a pullback, and then we'll do continuation. So watch out for resistance right here, 38 to 57. If we can cruise on through it, get up to 97, probably do a pullback, and then potentially bigger upside. Do have these prior highs sitting in here that we're getting right into right now on ERJ. BRT. Got earnings coming up next week. There's the big gap down, so resistance is at 132. If we can get up through it, 166, 176. And if we turn down at it, like if we pop up, bang our head, possible to come down lower. AVL. This is AVGO 2x leverage. So just use the AVGO chart, which is unclear, to figure out. Like if you think AVGO is going up 10%, this will go up 20%. If you think AVGO is going down 10%, this will go down 20+%. This usually underperforms on the upside and outperforms on the downside over a longer time frame. This is just a 1 day. If you go read the Direction prospectus, they're trying to match 2x the performance on a single day. So over time, that leverage costs money, and we usually underperform on the upside and outperform on the downside. NVS, Novartis, saved it. Broke through the uptrend of lows, came back up. If we can, so here's the level right here, around that 113 area. We get above that, probably cruising on up to 125 on Novartis. I don't usually trade biotech, pharma, med tech, any of that. Yang messing around down here, even though it was on the poppers list. That means that China's going down today. The opposite of that, yen getting a little bit of retrace today. Not really moving much at all. Internet bulls. This looks set for a pop. We do have resistance right here. So just comparing yen, yang, and CWeb. AVGX, that's another 2x leverage on AVGO. Maybe that's done and we go higher. I mean, that's kind of the way the AVGO chart looked, right? Maybe this is done and we go higher. It's not a lock. We didn't hit the roadmap line, so be careful. That's all I can do is warn you. Things aren't clear. For solar, would still look best with a flush. All those Chinese solar panels all getting more tariff or whatever than Biden already had. I don't understand. I got an email this morning. It's like, or I guess it was yesterday. Like, hey, all our products are going up 10% from one of my suppliers that I buy stuff from. And All right, across the board, everything we offer up, going up 10%. I was like, what? Some of the stuff you sell isn't even made in China. You're full of malarkey. Anyway, people just using this opportunity to rake the customers, it sounds like. Be careful. Mattel, nice pop. Nice pop. Let's just clear that off. That high, that low. Boom, right up to the target. Do I expect much more performance to the upside? Not necessarily. This has been chopping for 4 years. Chopping in this range. We did expand the range, and now we're contracting the range. I expect more just sideways. That's sideways until, an object at rest tends to stay at rest. And that stock charts at rest tend to stay at rest until something happens to materially move them. And Marvel and things that are in trend tend to stay in trend until something upsets it. Whether it's an uptrend or a downtrend, that's why I just expect continuation as a default. So this would be a correction, and then we'd expect continuation. GSK. Now, things can always take a left turn, and that's why you got to be prepared. But look at this. I mean, look at that. This has gone nowhere for a long, long time. Not tradable. TEM. Potential to go up here to 88. NVIDIA. Potential for that down there. Now I did close out my NVIDIA puts. I was expecting a retrace back up in here. Seems to be what we're doing. Getting back up in there. We may come all the way up to this level right here. May come back up to 136. If we get above it, we may come on up to a new high. If we turn down there, so here's resistance, here's resistance, there's the upside target, and the downside down in the 90s for now, and could be all the way down to 70s. If things got really bad, we could go on down here to the 40s, but one thing at a time. It looks like we're going to bounce before we get continuation lower. That was pretty vicious. Nice 3-wave. And we may come back up. Every $40 this moves is $1 trillion of market cap. VST. Looks like we're going to come down. Nice. Nice. Resistance right there at the roadmap line and downtrend. All right, decliners. Google. So as I said at the beginning, we're looking for this to hold the breakout. Hold in the vicinity of the breakout. If we do, this may just be a tiny blip on the path up here to about 225. If we maintain a move down below these lows, we're probably coming back to here. If not, coming on down into this vicinity down here. So watch out on Google. GOOGL tends to be a little more reliable, the Class A shares over the Class C shares. So be careful which one you trade. This one, on all my statistics and stuff, this one fails more often. Fails the patterns. FMC. Ooh. Dang. That just fell out of bed. Whew. Beat on top, missed on the bottom, and apparently not good news. Back to COVID low, or what is that? That's not even COVID lows. That's COVID lows are way up here. Oof. Man. I would be careful on that one. That one might take a bigger spill here. There's the next levels down. Yikes. UNH. Be careful. That's, as I said, that's a resistance zone right there between the 618 and the roadmap line. And next move down, we'll put it right down in here. If we get below that line, could come all the way down here. FNGU. Remember, they're auditing books and stuff like that. They find a bunch of healthcare fraud. UNH is a big supplier on all those Medicare things. TennCare. FNGU, as long as we maintain below the downtrend low, or downtrend highs, bias is down. If we can break through, coming on up here, 713, 730. AMD, finally getting into the target zone. Well, and we've been scraping it for a few days, few weeks. Now we're well into it. 95 is the ideal level down here. I'd love to see that, but this can be done at any point here. If we start breaking back above 120, we may be setting up to go on up. Not sure though. We've got a pretty steep downtrend of highs going. Yeah, this big one will be a significant resistance, and this one right here, the near term. So, like I said, if we break through that one, probably rally up to the roadmap line, wherever it is. Then we'll see what happens. Then we can rally up to that. And if we get up through that, we'll have resistance there and there. And we get through all that, we can go to new highs on an AMD. Spotify. Potential to rally up to that 750-ish area. I mean, we could get all the way up to 1100, but I think as we go up here like this, we're going to retrace before we can do that. INTA. Back to the roadmap line. GGLL. Yeah, this may hit the roadmap line. Let's see, what was I in? GGLS. Oh, yeah. Hopefully that's sold. No. I bet my order is just a little bit above. I need a few more pennies. Nice. I bought yesterday at the right before the close. Trying to make 10% on that one. Pretty nice little play. PTIR. Man. Be careful. We're in the zone right here. This can retrace pretty viciously. PTIR is just 2x leverage on this one. Hershey reporting earnings tomorrow in the morning. This is getting down into the abyss here. Can they turn it and burn it? I don't know. Like, that's getting lower than I expected. So this may not be. Hershey may get bought out. It's great. Cocoa Futures giving it back a little bit. Looks like Cocoa Futures want to drop back to the roadmap line. That's good for Hershey and Nestle and all those. Let's see what happens. Yeah, get a stack of alerts there. GOOGL, 2x lever long on Alphabet, down to the roadmap line. And these don't always work on, when you play on leverage charts like this, it doesn't always work. So it could come down here. Maybe. It'll just be 2x performance of the Google chart. ARES, looks like that's coming back for the roadmap line, although it's bouncing pretty good today. So we'll see what happens there. Apple, finding support. As long as we hold that support, we can bounce, break back above this high, and get the target up here. 266, 271. Tesla, sitting there churning. Long as we hold that line right there, bias is up. We get below it, we're coming on down. You better turn down at the roadmap line. Watch for that to flush on down, back to the lows. Right there. SWK. Watch for that one. Continuation lower. BG. That one is continuing lower. How low? Looks like we're going for probably something in this zone right down in here. We might get a hold where we are. Looks like it may go a little deeper though. PDD hasn't been able to break through the roadmap line. Be careful. Day, that can't be the right thing. And day force, there you go. Back down below, watch for that to retrace deeper. TRLW, sideways chop, nothing. CMG, I was warning, this may go down here. Be careful. This may be heading down there. Amazon, as I said, I kind of expect this to drop on earnings. We usually drop on that fourth quarter, disappointing. Mondelez trying to buy Hershey, but they're also in the basement. Uber long with leverage, probably going down. Snow, love to see this retrace to the roadmap line, but upside target 192, 196. WGS, back to the roadmap line, 57 supports. TCOM, back to the roadmap line, 60. EYPT, no idea. CPRI, watch for that to make a lower low. Match.com, sideways chop. BABA, potential if we can break above this 618 resistance, potential to come on up here to 125 area. Bonus for the day. Holy moly, I gotta pull up the numbers. Check this thing out. Absolute, just crazy numbers right here. Look at this thing. 94.7% with a 32 profit factor. Holy moly, 56 days on average. It's a $7 upside, 84 target. Entry was at 77.46. We'll stop at 70 or 67. Absolute wild. Absolute wild. Now it might not work. We're kind of in a downtrend a little bit, but here's the move right there. The targets. Here's the entry. Boom, like that. 56 days on average. That's trading days, not calendar days. Something like something out to May, at least on options, and you probably want to go twice as long. So it's like 112 calendar or 112. Trading days. So something out to July, maybe August, if you're going to play options or try that. So that's the bias for the day. I need to go, but here, bias for the day, caution till we can break out. We were looking for that 15-minute bounce. Not sticking it so far. So watch for this to get that continuation higher. Same on NQ. Rejecting so far. So if we can get above, that's the bias. SPY, same. QQQ, kind of same. IWM, kind of the same. You can run the fibs, high to low. We're rejecting. We may get a downward bias for a little while until we can break above. Apple. That's under the roadmap line, downward bias. Let's see, Apple, Amazon is obviously topping out. Downward bias, so kind of the way it looks today. Google obviously got a downward bias. Nvidia might be able to break above. That one might have an upside. Might, possible. Meta, looking strong still. So there you go. Be safe out there. The account you save may be your own. I'll see you again tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Do it all over again. Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll see you later.